Okay, if you're like me, it seems like the more that you learn about social media, the less that sometimes you want to put into it. But there's so many good things that can happen because of social media. And today we're going to be talking about Instagram. So if you have been using Instagram and you haven't been getting the results that you want to be able to get with your business, well, you come to the right place because I have brought with me one of my very dear friends, Esme Lozano, who's going to be sharing her story about what it's like to be on the Instagram journey and how it's been able to get her students, build authority for her, and be able to help her practically grow her most of her business through this one platform. So I'm really excited to have Esme here with us today. Woo woo! Hello, Esme. Um, yep. Yeah. That so it feels like it's been like a forever journey, but it's actually really just been in the past year, and you were able to really grow your business utilizing this tool. I want to say welcome to you guys who are joining us today live. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Oh, we can't hear Esme, so let's see what's happening here with my sound. All right, Esme, try to say something again. No, they cannot. So let me add it on. Let's see if we can get this better. Let's go to audio, input, output, and headphones. Let's see if this works. All right, let's try it again.
Hello, everyone. Can you
There
hear
we go.
me?
We got her sound on now. See, I should have checked that earlier, and well, oops, I didn't. So here we go. We can all hear everybody. So, so Esme was sharing all about this great journey. You guys missed. She shared every single important point that you need to
That's it.
know.
I'm done. Bye.
You missed it all, and you're not getting any more. I'm just kidding. So
Sorry.
glad that you guys are here today. We've got Austin in the house from Wisconsin. Austin, I don't know if you know this, but I'm from
Awesome.
Wisconsin as well. So pretty cool stuff. And we've got lots of you guys that are here. We've got Anjane Redford in the house. We got Sarah in the house. So thanks you guys for joining us and for telling us that we had some issues with our sound. It's always good to know that right out of the gate, so we can fix that as soon as possible. But what I was sharing was that Esme has had some really great results, and she was sharing that it really has only been a year journey for her, and she's got an incredible business just by using really Instagram to be able to capture the attention of her ideal students and clients and all of that great stuff. So when did you say, what was the date that you said that you were looking at your Instagram
So
account?
my first post, and I want to admit that the post was probably just sitting there and I did nothing for a while. So it was September of 2020. So it's going to be a year that I first posted. And the reason that it picked up, that I realized, oops, maybe I should do this, is because I had a acquaintance find me through Instagram, and she wrote me a DM and said, Esme, you're still tutoring? I need a tutor. I was like, and then I realized, hey, maybe I should pay attention to Instagram. And she's in her 30s. So it was like, oh, okay. Like the parents are 30 something, So that was my first kind of like light bulb moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started the journey.
Oh, that's awesome. So you were able to have some success right out of the gate. You didn't even
Right
realize that
on.
it was going to be a resource or tool. And I know you had started to feel a little bit comfortable with it because you were using it with your church to do some different posts and that kind of stuff with church. Tell us about that experience.
Yes, so I was doing Instagram for my youth ministry at our church. So I was comfortable with the posting and kind of the idea of the goal of posting. Well, for me at that point was to just for the youth to see themselves and get excited about upcoming events. So that was kind of the goal. But when I did find my acquaintance, or she found me through Instagram, um, she not only found me, but she referred me to someone else at her private school. So automatically, I would say it was like $700 to $1,000 instantly that I got
Mm,
that month. And that got my attention
yeah.
because up to then I had only been marketing on Facebook and really referrals and students that I had in person before. So I want to say that I probably a year before that, I had told my son, like, what's that hashtag thing? Like, what is that all about? And so if you feel like you know nothing, you're in good company, because I've been on this journey for almost a year. I was looking at clients that have come through. So I've had 12 clients that actually filled out my online reading assessment form. 9 clients have signed on during this period. And I'm having another client that I'm meeting with on Saturday who also found me on Instagram. So now when I get my assessment forms that people fill out, it says Instagram, Instagram, Instagram. And I've had 3 clients that were not a good fit for me. And so, but I just want to say that like 9 out of 10 are already ready to sign on. And I find that the clients just get on, do a search for a reading tutor, find me, fill out the form, and they sign on. So even some of the clients that I have are not actually following me.
Interesting.
So don't think that the people who follow you necessarily are going to be your only clients. There are other people that just go and look for what they want. They find you and they hire you.
Yeah. And you're doing something that's really great. And I think this is important for any of you guys who do start playing with social media, is you want to know, how are people finding you? So she has right on her form there, that Instagram is one of the options, one of the drop down menus that they can just type on in, or they can select it as how they ended up finding her. And that's when you start really getting serious about your business, because you're like, okay, I want to know what's working, why it's working, and how can I continue to do what I'm doing if that's what's working, right? You don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff that's not working, right? That's when it starts to feel like it is a waste of time, right? And we see so many people, they're going about Instagram the wrong way, and it's really hurting their tutoring business and being able to get students, or at least to have success with Instagram, to be able to do what it was meant to do, which is to be able to get some additional students. So I think it's really awesome that you're here today to kind of share your story, some of the success that other people who've walked this journey with you have had, and give a hope to people who are kind of wondering, what can they use on Instagram to really show up and be seen as somebody who is an expert in the industry, and be able to then take people to that next step, which isn't to stay on Instagram, right? But it's to actually get a client, get that free assessment, get that free consultation, whatever that next step is, that they do that.
I think that a lot of tutors don't realize that people need to know, like you and trust you. And that Instagram provides, it's like a network, and it provides something for anybody, for every taste, whether they like long video, short video, promotional, commercial, entertainment, that, Instagram provides that. So in just a quick few seconds, people can listen to a short video where I'm speaking and know what I sound like. They know what I look like. So when I meet them for the assessment, they already know what I sound like. They already know what I think about a lot of things related to reading. So it's no surprise. So when I meet them, they actually know me more than I know them.
Yeah.
And so, and they already trust me because of the content that I create. So I think people need to, when we're marketing, that's what we're trying to do. There are many tutors out there, and putting us, a flyer that says hire me is not the way we all hire someone. We want to know that somebody knows that person, that someone likes that person, and that person can be trusted. And Instagram provides a way to allow people to get to know you at every level.
For sure. What about people who are they're kind of scared to be able to kind of put their face out there with their business? I hear a lot of people, they're like, I kind of don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. I'm kind of nervous to kind of put my face out there, or pictures of me, or...
Yeah, I can say that I went through that when I first got on Facebook, and I didn't want to add all my friends because I didn't feel like I had enough content or anything. I was just opening it. And so that's a natural progression that we all make. as we get comfortable with ourselves. But I think after tutoring online and seeing your face at every session, you're like, this is what you get. It ain't changing. So that is really what's helped a lot, just being tutoring, and then you just get comfortable and that's what you do. But really the only way to do it is to do it. And it might be that you record yourself every day to practice. Don't post it, but just record it. And then you'll find like, hey, that was good. Or, and so it really is a matter of just doing it. It's not perfect practice that I recommend. It's practice.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
There is nothing that's perfect. If you go to my Instagram, it's not a museum here. It's real. And I'm trying to run a business and also market myself. So there has to be some kind of a balance, as well as I'm not a social media marketer. I'm not trying to, create the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm trying to connect with people. That's ultimately, it's a social platform, and it's about connecting with others, and Instagram provides them.
And it's about engagement, you guys. So it's not about how many followers you have, because like Esme said, like you could literally just put in a little people could put in reading tutor and your stuff could pop on up because you're using the hashtags, because you're creating content. They'll be able to find you because of that. So there are going to be lots of different people that they can choose from. And when you're popping on up as one of the top people because you're constantly on the platform, that's some pretty awesome stuff. And it can really, it's like gold in the bucket for sure.
It is. And you're right. You don't have to have, I think I only have like 320 followers. And maybe 3 of those are actually clients. So don't think that you have to have thousands and tens of thousands. What you want is a client. And really your followers become your fans, and they support you in being present there, so that people know that others are interested in engaging with your page. But do know that it's not about the number of followers. It's about connecting with your target audience, really. Mm-hmm. And I say this like pain points and everything that you taught us in Jumpstart. I don't care where you go take a training for Instagram or any other kind of training, you're going to end up doing that again, talking about that, because it's about, I was telling one of the groups that I work with that my son had needed knee surgery. And I said, I had put it off because of the pandemic. And I said, if somebody were to get on the TV and do a commercial that says, if you have put off your knee surgery because of the pandemic, don't put it off anymore, I would have called that number, because that's exactly what I was thinking, like, how much longer can I put it off? He finally had a surgery. But I think that's really what the issue is. We need to connect with what they're thinking. So when they hear us, they go, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. And I think that's such an important thing, is we can't be using the social media from our perspective. We almost need to be like flipping the script and thinking about our ideal client and what they're thinking, what they're doing, to be able to be really effective with it, right? And I see a lot of people, they'll put up posts like, oh, we have open enrollment right now for tutoring. And, we're tutoring reading, math, and English, and chemistry, and it's like all these
everything.
Different, we're tutoring everything that's out there. Sign up today. I can tell you that that's probably not going to work, because there's different types of posts that you need to be putting on out there, and they can't all sound like have open enrollment, right? So what are some of the different types of posts that people should be thinking about when they're creating content?
Well, if you're wanting them to get to know you, because it depends what season you are in your business. If you're in the like right now, I'm in a season where I really don't want any more clients right now. Like I'm kind of at I can't take anyone else. So in the evenings anyway, daytime, yes. But you have to be creating posts that fit your season. So you're trying to convert clients, then you need to create content that speaks to their pain points as far as the struggle. And it's not just that their child has a problem with math or reading, but what feelings is that creating in their home because of the struggle. So I think that we have to connect with our pain points is the main thing. I think that's a start. And then you can share your expertise, but I would not make my Instagram about a how-to either. You don't want to turn into the page that all the teachers go to learn how to teach reading. You don't want to do that, but you want to give them enough. So I think that you need to pick some pillars that you want to speak to. So, I've picked mine, like I want to speak to reading aloud, because reading aloud, I can talk to them about it. And I'm not giving it away in a sense that they wouldn't want to hire me. Like I'm giving them things that they can do themselves. But at the end of the day, they're going to say, you know what, I'm not doing it. I need someone else to do it. So I talk to reading aloud. I talk about reading, comprehension. I talk about the value of online tutoring as I'm teaching as an online tutor, why it's beneficial. I speak to homeschool parents and I tell them why I'm better than the homeschool curriculum. And so there are specific things that I'm speaking to. So in your niche, you need to find them and then decide, okay, these are the things that I will speak to so that there's an end to the madness. Because if you don't have pillars, you will be feeling like, oh, I need to post. You feel like your whole life is Instagram and you're just posting without purpose. So you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional.
Yeah, for sure. And, I had somebody ask, what is it that parents really want to see? What kinds of things do they want to see? You welcome people, like you welcome your new students on Instagram. Like the student's not on Instagram, but you just welcome them by name, just their first name when you welcome them?
Just their first name. And that really that's probably one of the first things that I did that I didn't know why I was doing it, but other than I've always done things like that with my youth ministry. But I welcome them, and I realized that other parents that were my clients were saying, wow, you've got a lot of students, or you're getting a lot of new students. And it also provided like social proof that I'm being hired by others, that others trust me and like me and want to work with me. And so I found that my current clients were like, oh, I'm not letting go of my time because you're getting full. And so welcoming students creates that community atmosphere. It creates the proof that I am a busy tutor. Other things that I do as well is I share my testimonials. When a parent writes me and they're raving about the results that they're getting, or, I make sure that I ask them, do you mind if I share that? Or, if it's a text, I'll do a screenshot, or on my website, I'll write out exactly what they said, or I'll ask them to write it on Facebook and I'll copy it, whatever the case. So it's an opportunity for people to hear what others are saying about you. And I think tutors sometimes are uncomfortable with sharing that, but this is the only way people are. I want to tell you that yesterday I was looking for an SAT reading tutor, and I went to search on Instagram, SAT tutor. And it's funny, my mental process as a parent, like, is this what they do? Like, is SAT their thing, or it's just one of the things? And so I realized definitely mattered that was their main niche. Like, that's what they have had dedicated themselves to. So I saw myself eliminating people that had SAT as an additional thing and looking at the people that had SAT as their main thing. And then I was looking for the social proof, like what are others saying? What results are they getting? So the testimonials were important. So just put yourself in parent's shoes and how they go searching. And of course, the aesthetics, if someone had a profile picture that was not good at all, and it was kind of dark, it's weird, but we think that's mysterious. Like that person must be, I don't know, like things go through our heads. Like, why don't they have a bright picture? Why aren't they smiling? Like if you,
important.
I know. So I started like all the things that I tell all the people who are in our mastermind, our Instagram mastermind. I found myself thinking those things as a parent, like, oh, no smile, or, doesn't seem to be like an expert in this area. It's like just an additional thing that they do. And I'm looking for someone who just loves to tutor SAT reading, and I'm not the one. So, so it's just, I've done it. It's not. And so, so I started to think that way. And that's what I want to say, to our audience today, that, put yourself as someone who's searching for that tutor.
Mm-hmm.
And what convinces you to click on that person, to fill out an assessment form or consultation form, I also found that some people had a great page, but it was really hard for me to connect with them.
Mm.
I was like, okay, click on this. And then it was like, email me. And I was like, that means I have to compose an email? No, moving on.
Oh,
So, yeah.
well, that's really good. That's really good to know that people are looking for the quickest way to be able to connect with
tell
a tutor.
me what to tell you, basically. Like just giving me a form and telling me what to tell them makes it easy, as opposed to me going, hi, I'm Esme, so really it was very interesting. I was taking notes about the things that I was thinking, but there was an excellent SAT tutor, and it was too hard to connect. I couldn't get to the person, and so it just made me feel like it was too complicated.
Yeah.
So simplifying things.
So how have you made it really simple for people to contact you on Instagram?
So I've created a link tree, just did it through Canva, and I chose 4 things that I wanted to include there. So basically I link them to my website, but instead of just having my website, I have them linked to the part on my website that says about me, the one that says reviews, and then I have them linked to my Jot form, which is a free online reading assessment tab. And so anytime that I create any content and I write my caption for my content, the call to action most times is going to be, click on my bio, and not my bio link, click on my link, click on my bio link and click on the free online reading assessment tab. So seeing that people are doing it, they get it. Like right. two steps. And I don't have too many links on my link tree. I just have 4, and I'll switch them out if there's a new promotion. Like right now I'm promoting a homeschool teen book club. So I've added that one in there. So I can just tell them, click on my bio link and click on this tab and fill out the form. Mm-hmm. And so they're actually doing it. And when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I filled out the form on your Instagram. They look at me like, I just did what you said.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep. And that's so perfect because you're telling, and I even saw like one of your posts actually showed them what to do. It was like, click over here, and they click it, and then that's the page that shows on up, and then you show them the next thing that they need to click. So it makes it easy. And a lot of people don't realize just how that just takes out the stress of how do I connect with this person. But you can also DM people. Do you have people that are DMing you on Instagram?
Yeah, I've had people DM me, but mostly go through the assessment, clicking on the assessment form. I think I've done screen recordings too, where I show them moving through my Instagram. Like you said, that infographic that I did, like step 1, 2, and 3, this is how you connect with me. Oh, that rhymes. That sounds like something I should say.
1, 2, 3, here's how you connect with me.
Yeah. And you know what? I got a client the day I posted that one. I got a client she is in Georgia.
Nice. Nice. So I think sometimes it is a matter of they just don't know like really how to go about that next step.
Whoever makes it easier to connect, they're going to go with that person, because yesterday someone lost my business because it was too hard. They wanted me to compose an email. I'm not going to do it.
Yep. And it's so funny you say that, because in the beginning, like I was really using I still use a lot of YouTube, because you guys are watching me on YouTube right now, but I was using YouTube. And then when I was looking for a reading tutor, I actually started looking through YouTube for reading tutors for my daughter. And I think the most hilarious one, I found 2 people. One person was a person that was in my program for the Reading Interventionist. And I'm like, why didn't I think of her? And it was like, in the early days of it. And the other one was somebody that didn't have a link in their video to their website. So I couldn't contact them. And it's not like you're going to write a message, like a public message to them there. Right. That just doesn't feel like right. So I didn't move forward with her. And there was another person I had emailed 2 people. And one was a person who had gone through my program, and then another person. The other person never got back to me. I'm like, all right, that's it. People in my community are like the best.
It's terrible when you're a coach because you're like, you want to say like, if only you did this, you would have gotten. I wanted to do that to some of the people that I was searching, because yes, we need to simplify things, and I think people don't realize how much we need to tell people step by step what to do. Why it's important to tell them, what to do next. It helps me. I've said this before when I check out at, the local store, and they tell me, you've got to put your debit card in, but you have to click no and yes. And, and they walk you through it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you.
Right. Because otherwise you sit there, you're like, oh, what was I supposed to do? I don't know.
You're like, because sometimes they're different questions.
They're all
different.
I know. They're all different. You're like, why can't you all be the same? But they're not. And it's the same thing with us tutors, right? We don't all do things exactly the same. And so if you walk people through it, you're going to have a lot more success. And I think that's really easy. And I want to thank, Sarah's been inside the house and just really sharing lots inside of our YouTube. So thank you, Sarah. We also have Brenda McKinley, who teaches young adults with disabilities and specific learning disabilities. So we're glad that you are in the house as well. And guess who else is in the house? You won't know because I'm just going to tell you. Sherry Morcos is in the house, and I know she's been a part of your Instagram group,
my mastermind.
Yeah, and she's been doing some really awesome stuff with her Instagram. What have you noticed? As you've watched Sherry kind of grow in the Instagram biosphere, I guess. What have you noticed?
Well, she runs with it. And I think Sherry, like at first it was like, it had to be perfect. And that was the thing that she had to overcome. Like, she has great content, and, she tutors accounting, and she uses mind mapping to tutor accounting. And she influenced me. So I started using mind mapping for my mastermind, and people started saying, oh my gosh, that was so clear because of what you did. So she's been great to work with and see her grow. And I've seen her do more video. Mm-hmm. So that's been great to watch. So just to see people evolve and run and go try something. And she's willing to invest in herself as a business and take a course if she needs to, read the book if she needs to. And I think that's ultimately what's going to add to her success.
Yeah, for sure. And people like Sherry are just so smart because we can go into Instagram and we can try to do what we think is going to work. But I think sometimes as tutors, we're great at teaching, but we really don't know how to do this whole marketing side of the things and how to do it properly. And I always hear people say, I just don't want to sound salesy. And then they end up being the salesiest sounding people on social media. I'm like, okay, you don't want to sound salesy, but you just said you've got openings and you're taking students and all of that kind of stuff. Like that's all your posts are. It's very salesy. It's not engaging or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and connecting with people. And so it's very interesting to see that. So those of you guys who are interested in continuing to learn more, on Monday I am going to be having a free webinar. It's called 4 Tweaks That You Can Make to Your Instagram to Make It Rock. So I'm going to put the link right inside of there so that you guys can get more raving fans. And there are just 4 simple tweaks that you guys can make that you're going to walk away totally changed by coming to this webinar. So you definitely want to sign on up for that. Come join us. I will be live. It's August 16th at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time. If you're not able to join us live, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I've got my day job at that time. I can't join you, Joanne. I get it. I will send a replay, but I will tell you that people who show up live, I always have free stuff. So you definitely want to show up live and be there because you don't want to miss the free stuff. You don't want to miss the free stuff. It's awesome. So yeah, great stuff for being with us live. And we have a new course that is coming on out for those of you who have not been a part of Rock the Gram. Esme is going to be leading that class again and really being able to help people to rock their presence on Instagram. And not only do we give you like step-by-step videos and guides and, here's what to think about and here's how you do hashtags and here's how here's how you find the best performing hashtags and, here's the hashtags to stay away from. We give you all of those step-by-step details, but then in video format and written format, and then Esme is there to guide you through the process each week as well. And so that's pretty cool stuff to really get, I think, get the help from people that are getting success. They're already getting success, and you want to learn from those people getting success. You don't want to learn from the people that are posting all the time, but they're not getting students, right? And we sometimes don't know who those people are. Right. We see them on Instagram all the time, but maybe they're not getting, you have no idea if they're getting students. Well, here, that Esme is getting students. In fact, you were saying what you did was very interesting because you started breaking down like how much money Instagram actually was making you so that you could actually see like there's a monetary benefit to being active. So if you've gotten a certain amount of clients, you break it down. So tell us about that.
Well, every time that I get a client, I figure out like I just gave myself a raise, right? So let's say you're doing $60 an hour, for example. So I'll just do it. If they work with me twice a week, that's 120 times 4, that's 480, that's one client. So let's say I've gotten 9 clients. So I've given myself 5,000 plus raise for this last year. And I didn't work my Instagram till probably December. And I really didn't know what I was doing till probably February. So, I became very intentional at the beginning of the next year. So I do break it down. And how many of you can say working at your day job that you can walk up to your boss and say, hey, can I have a $5,000 raise? That rarely happens. Right. You might get a few cents or just the standard of living raise. But you have the power to be intentional about getting the clients. And not only that, but you get referrals. So like the one first client that I got gave me a referral. They both of the referrals children signed on, okay? And they were signed on for twice a week. And then now she got me another referral from the private school as well. So from one client, I don't see them on a daily basis. They're not my neighbors. And I've gotten 3, let's see, 1, 2, and if you count the sibling, I've gotten 4 clients out of that one Instagram connection that I made. Absolutely. And not only that, but what I find is that my clients will say, oh, you can find her on Instagram. So now they're pointing them to Instagram, and people, like I said, can quickly see video of me. They can see my content. They can see my posts. They can even see some lives that I've done for interviews. So they get to see a little bit of me in every aspect, and even what my family looks like, my children, what I do. And behind the scenes, that's something that I try to post, like behind the scenes, what I do, what it looks like. Today, like I posted on my story, my schedule. What does my schedule look like? I'm starting at 3:00. I'll end at, I think, 8 today or something. And so I know I'm experiencing that shift from my summer schedule, which everyone was daytime. So now everybody's shifting down. And then I do have some homeschoolers like from 8 to 10:30 in the morning. And then I have a big break in the day, which I'm actually enjoying a lot because I'm getting a lot of my work done during that time. And I get to have lunch with my husband and all that. So people get to see, who I am as a person, who I am as a tutor, what people say about me. Again, it comes back to they get to know, like, and trust you through Instagram. And just like people do with you through YouTube. Mm-hmm. Everyone will always say when they come to Jumpstart, I watched Joanne for a long time. Yeah. And I did the same. Like, is this lady for real? Like, who is she? It is like that. If we're like that, why do we think that parents are any different? They're going to listen to you. Something you say might connect, maybe your why you do what you do, or your family. And they're like, oh, she's just like me. She's just a mom. She's stressed out. She's trying to keep it together. And so you'll be surprised at what things people will connect with. I tell tutors all the time, it might be that I look like their teacher from elementary school and they just feel like, yay, I don't know. Sometimes that happens. There's different strokes for different folks, different things that appeal to people about us. So I'm not for everybody, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah. And we're not trying to, that's where it comes important for you to realize who is your ideal client. And a lot of times your ideal client are people that are just like you. And we don't realize that. But like, I absolutely love being able to work with those parents that, they want to be able to help their child, but they don't really know what they're doing. And so they're willing to like search out and find somebody who can just help them. I mean, that's what I want. When I ever have a problem in my house, I just want somebody else to do it.
Yeah, and you know what? It shows through that they already like you. It's really interesting to me as I've met all my clients that I've gotten through Instagram, that as soon as we turn on the camera, I'm like, I like them. And they already like me. I mean, you always used to say like, everyone's not a good fit. And I was like, how is that possible?
Right.
But I'm finding I know it's a good fit.
Yeah.
I just know. And just in our interaction, just in how well they follow what we need to do to meet, it's quick steps to fill out the form. And then I give them a link to sign up for the assessment. And even in their care towards me, as far as maybe something came up and they say, hey, could we please reschedule? The client that I have this Saturday, I had told her I had Saturday later time. And she said, could we do it earlier? Oh, we need your help badly. Like, please, so I already know that this client's ready to sign on.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going through this process, but she's ready. And she hasn't asked me what I charge yet.
Yeah. And that's the coolest part about it. I think people don't really even realize that. A lot of times when people meet people, if they're not using the right platforms, using the wrong platforms will result in you being price compared. And people will try to like price shop you. As soon as you start really getting on out there, the more you get yourself out there, think about it this way. I think this is going to be a good visual for people. The more you get yourself out there in a positive way, right? You're connecting with your ideal client. You're sharing success stories. You're doing things the right way. The more you do that, the less people compare you by price.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make the decision if they're going to invest and move forward with you before they even contact you. So then a lot of times when they contact you, the conversation isn't about price. And if it does come down to price, either they haven't researched you, right? You don't provide like any of that like information for them to find that out, or it could be another reason. Like there was something else. Maybe you weren't confident when you were speaking to them and they're like, I don't know. A lot of people will say that it's the price is the reason why they don't want to move forward with you. And it's a complete lie. I'm just going to tell you, it's just the easiest one that they can say as to why they're not moving forward with you. Now, Granted, there are some people who may not be able to afford your services, but if they wanted services from you bad enough, they would find a way to do it. It's kind of like if your kid needed, surgery. Right? Are you going to deny them unless it's the pandemic? Are you going to deny them like heart surgery if they need heart surgery? Are you going to deny them that and be like, oh, it's just going to cost too much? No, you're going to do what you can do to do that. And a lot of people do see academic tutoring in a very similar light. They understand how important academics are to their future. And so.
Well, and I was telling our Jumpstart group, we just started yesterday, met with them. And I said, it's not upper middle class or like wealthy lawyers and doctors who are hiring me. It's just your average, working class person who has made a priority of their child for this season, for this specific thing. And so they see the need and they know that they need the help and that no one else can help them and provide that consistency. And so when people, we're just like us as parents, there are things that we probably can't afford, but we made it happen, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was necessary or we wanted that help for them or we wanted that experience for them. So I find the same to be true with parents, and I have single moms who have their own business, and they're like, I'm not letting you go because my child was reading or not reading, a third grader not reading, and my child is reading now and confident and becoming an independent reader. And she stuck it through. And so I just want to say that when people are feeling the need for something, and whatever your tutoring is, they're going to do what's necessary. And people are charging all kinds of prices out there. I saw that for SAT tutoring. I was like, wow, and I actually called Robin. I don't know how to say her name, but she is from Insiders Club.
Oh yeah, Glimbotsky.
Yeah, I didn't call her. I actually posted on our page, and she said she did it, and she wrote me right back, and she told me everything I needed to know. So she's the one that got the SAT reading opportunity. Unlike the other person that was too complicated, wanted me to compose this really complicated email. So, it's price is not the issue.
Yeah.
I was just like, how much will it be? Do I pay monthly, weekly? What is it? She could have really said any number. I'm just like, can you do it? I just need 2 months of concentrated. But, I was like, yay, perfect. And that's the way parents are. They're looking, they know, they have an idea, and they also know what a good tutor is like. And it's interesting how when you move into a different rate, you also, parents value your work too.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And they now all of a sudden they're making sure that they're not missing sessions. They're contacting you if there's needs to be a reschedule, those kinds of things. Whereas when you're not charging enough, it seems like some of those people take advantage of some of those things.
I can skip. It's not a big deal. Like, they'll think that way.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a wonderful experience through my clients on Instagram. I have great clients because they stay with me year round. And recently over the summer, I got one from San Antonio because I'm from Texas. I'm in Dallas. I got one from Maryland and Georgia and Alabama. So I've kind of spread out to, different time zones that you said were possible. It happened.
Yeah. And it's so cool because, that's one of the things when we start to move online, because you weren't in-person tutor, so everybody was real close to you, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I could just go to her house or whatever, or she can come to me, whatever your tutoring situation is, right? But when you start reaching on Instagram, there almost is, it's really, really rare that those people that are going to need your services are going to be right in your location. But Google My Business is really fantastic for those close people that they'll still even move online. Yeah. I heard 5 days a week, right?
Yes, 5 days a week. And the day after I got on Google My Business, I said, I should try it, And it was like, I thought, is this for real? So we were doing like this dance on the phone, like, okay, who are you? Tell me. But yes. And nothing happened. Like, people are afraid to put their address. I think I want to know that person really lives in the place.
Yeah. Right.
It really.
Yeah. It's just part of that trust. If I want people to trust me, I've got to put my information out there. I'm a business. And so if I'm a business, people need to find the address of the business. You don't want to do business with people that you can't trust. It feels shady. If people aren't putting their address on there, you have nothing to be scared of, you guys. I know that there's a lot of, the information that we teach children when it comes to internet safety and the information that then you grow into as you grow your business are not the same. They're different, and so know that you're going to be safe. Nobody's going to stalk you. Nobody's going to hunt you down. None of that kind of stuff. Take those fears and throw them away. Stop watching the news. Because I don't know about you, but I turn on the news and I'm like, oh my God, it's awful out there. But then
turn off your social media. Yeah.
But then I open my door and I'm like, gosh, it sure doesn't look like what the news portrays. Like, that's not what it looks like for me in my real world. Like, yes, those things happen, but they're rare. They're not an everyday occurrence.
And you're still going to take precautions. You're going to meet someone, and I made sure my husband was here when the student came, and actually his sister's the one that would stay during the sessions. So yeah, you're still going to take precautions and set boundaries and be clear about them. But yeah, there isn't anything, I have made the best of friends through, I think as we network, and those of you that are watching, as you get to know us and you hear our voice, a lot of people, even that come onto the Jumpstart program, they've been listening to you for a long time, or I had someone reach out and say, could you coach me? They signed up for coaching because I saw you on YouTube with Joanne. And it's just like, yeah, there is that trust because they're connecting with the stories. They're having the struggles or concerns about their own business as well as those who are watching right now. And they're like, can they be trusted? Well, I always say that, Joanne, the reason I stuck around watching your videos was because you were still tutoring. And I thought, okay, she really knows what she's talking about. It's not this guru that says, oh, this is the magic wand, and then you're going to be a millionaire, So yeah, that was convincing. So everything that we do and we put out on social media is there to let people get to know us and like us. And just think about who we follow. Why do we follow them? Because we connect with them at some level, and they make us feel comfortable. That's just the bottom line.
That is. And people love stories. So don't be scared to share your story with people, and think about how, that can even be a connection point as well. Well, I'm so glad that you guys are able to join us today. And again, we're going to be holding that free training on, it's called 4 Simple Tweaks. 4 simple but critical tweaks to turn followers into raving fans on Instagram. And it's just 4 simple things that you can do. Even if you've never been on Instagram before and you want to learn how to be able to use it, come join us. Great information will be shared there. It's a completely free training for you guys. And we will be sharing also about the class that Esme is going to be running. And you'll be able to find out more about that. But at the end of the day, you're going to be able to leave with information that you can be able to implement right away with your business.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. I'm excited. I want to let them know when they sign up for my Rocktagram, I give you bite-sized information that you can take and do. So it's a class about doing. So it's not a lecture course. It's a let's go do it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, you guys, thanks for joining us, Esme, and thanks you guys for joining us on Facebook and YouTube as we are live. And we're so glad that you decided to join us. Keep rocking it, you guys. Rock that gram. Use Instagram. Use all the social media that's out there. Learn how to use it so that you can be specific. Not all social media is run exactly the same. So get to know what are some of the tweaks, some of the differences, and just keep getting better and just do it. So thanks for joining us, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.